Ever since I was a kid, I was a very odd and weird kid, and it was very hard for me to make friends. Of course, I didn't know at the time that I was undiagnosed with autism. So I masked as well as a child could and just decided to hide the things that make me weird, or if people pointed out something that I did that was a bit off, I would try to hide that behavior as well as I could. And that was my strategy for a long time until now. I got my autism diagnosis at age 23, and I'm 26 now, so since 3 years I have been on this journey of unmasking autism, and it's been a rough journey, not gonna lie. I still do not have any answers. I still don't know how I'm going to fully realize my potential and who I am, and fully uncover my autism traits that I had completely masked over the years. I'm still trying to slowly uncover them, but it's been a long journey, and those are the things that I just have in my mind. The memories that I have of suppressing some of my autistic traits. One big example that I remember from my childhood is echolelia, which is a common autistic trait. It means to repeat phrases that people say to you, but here's the difference. When I did echolelia, I never repeated what people said to me out loud. I always whispered it, and you could see my lips were moving, but I'm just whispering, which in a way makes it even weirder. Ignore the sound in the background. And because it made it so much weirder, I got called out for it very often, but it didn't really hit me that much until this one time I was in my class, and there was this girl that I envied a lot. That one girl in school that everybody wants to be like. She's pretty, she gets all the attention, and she's everybody's favorite. All the teachers love her and things like that. And I very much envied her. I wanted really badly for her to be my friend. And I would try to spend as much time as I could with her. But she ended up complaining to my older sister about this weird habit that I had to repeat everything that others say to me under my breath. And she complained to my sister about it, and my sister came to me and confronted me like, hey, do you do this weird thing where you repeat things what other people say to you? And I don't know, in that moment, even though I was aware that I was doing it, and I was also aware that people find it weird, but I couldn't help myself, something just flipped inside my head in that moment, and I don't remember ever doing that again. I just felt like a creep, like being called out for being such a creepy weirdo, that I was doing this, repeating, mutterings. I'm trying to imagine it from what it would look like as an outsider, and I would, if somebody did that, repeat every single thing that I say to them under their breath, I would be creeped out, and I would be like, somebody's putting some enchantments on me, some kind of a witch. Enchantments, I swear to God, why is English language so weird? I would just use muttering spells under my breath, like a witch. I think that's the most accurate way to describe it. And I suppose that's how she felt when I was whispering everything that she said and repeating it. And something just flipped inside my head, and I never did it again. I still had this obsessive compulsive need to repeat things people say to me. I don't know why. I feel like I just did that a lot in order to really just understand what was being said in terms of social cues, and I would just repeat it in my head. But I would really try to not whisper it or repeat it out loud, because I know that that's one of my autistic traits, which I didn't know was autistic trait at the time. I just thought that that's something I like to do because I'm a little different. That's all I thought about it at the time. But from that day onward, I would just repeat things people say in my head, but I would never say it out loud. I knew it was a compulsive thing, so I would only do it in my head. And Now it's been years. I think this was when I was around 10 or 11, or even earlier than that. I don't exactly remember how old I was when I was doing this, but yeah, ever since this incident, I don't remember ever doing it again, and it's been years that I have even done echolelia. I don't think I can even do it anymore. It's just one example of how I was coerced, you could say, into masking my autistic traits. Another thing is just being force-fed food that I didn't eat as a kid. So, like, as a kid, I would hate eating mangoes because I really did not like the texture of mangoes. And same thing with bananas and a lot of like fruits and vegetables. I really do not like the smell or the texture of those foods. But yeah, the solution for that problem, according to my parents, was to use sort of like exposure therapy to just make sure that I'm exposed to the foods that I have an aversion to, and hopefully that would over time fix the problem. Newsflash, it did not fix the problem. If anything, I just got traumatized, and now I really cannot eat those foods. In some cases, like I never really liked pizza. I know as a kid I hated the texture of pizza. I would only eat the bread because I loved eating bread as a kid. Bread is like one of my favorite foods. So I would only eat the bread and I would just skip the toppings. But I did learn to like pizza over time. There was this one time I decided to, I don't even care. Fuck it, I'm just gonna eat the pizza. And I put it in my mouth and I took a bite, and surprisingly I actually liked how it tasted. So I started eating pizza from that day onward. And so there were some things that I was able to learn to like, but for a lot of things that was not the case, and it just ended up traumatizing me. And these are some of the only things that I actually remember from my childhood, the things that I remember hiding and masking. There are so many traits that I don't even remember that I used to do that would be considered autistic that I don't do anymore. So I'm just trying to uncover those little things. Another thing is stimming, which is a common autistic trait. I still do it. One of my most common things that I do is just like rubbing my fingers like this. I do this a lot when I'm overstimulated. And I also like to move back and forth. I'm trying really hard not to do it right now. Yeah, but I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care if it's distracting to other people. I would also move my legs a lot and move back and forth and have a very weird eye contact. I would sometimes make too much eye contact, which is when I would be trying to mask, obviously unsuccessfully, because I would just end up creeping people out because I would literally just look at them like this. Just trying to make as much eye contact as I possibly can, because I always felt like I was making less eye contact, so I need to increase it. And I think that I ended up creeping out a lot of people. No wonder I did not have any friends when I was in school. If you just stare at people like this consistently, I understand why they would not want to be a friend. They would be creeped out by you. But now I've realized that I feel like I still can't do eye contact like a neurotypical person, but I think I've got the hang of it as to how much eye contact I should make and how much I should just look away. And I don't know, I read it in some study somewhere that when I was learning how to mask my eye contact deficiencies or whatever, that you should make eye contact for 8 seconds before you look away. 8 seconds, I didn't realize how long 8 seconds really are. So I would just look people in the eye for 8 seconds, and I would be counting in my head from 1 to 8 to make sure that I get those 8 seconds. So I understand how that could be considered a little creepy, that I was just staring at people for 8 seconds. I think maybe I even forgot to blink for those 8 seconds, which just makes it even more uncanny. In the autism community online, there's this 1,000-yard autistic stare, and I feel like that's what I was giving. I was giving 1,000-yard autistic stare into the abyss. And I think that's what it was. But now, over time, I've learned how to actually not even care. That's one thing I've learned as I grow up, to not care if I'm giving enough eye contact or if I'm coming across as neurotypical or not. Like, I'm done trying to bend myself to fit in the neurotypical world. Like, if you think that my eye contact is weird, like, I don't care. Like, I'm not hurting anyone. Okay, like, I am just trying to make space. I'm just tired of trying to make space for other people when they really don't want to do the same for me. So I don't really care that much at this point. Same thing with stimming. This is something that I still get, especially by my dad and my parents. They just want me to stop doing this like finger tapping thing. And also another thing that I noticed I do is when I need to nod yes or no, I do it very aggressively. So if I need to say no, I would be like, no. Or if I want to say yes, I'd be like, yes. So very aggressively. And my dad always calls me out on it, that why are you doing it so aggressively? Like, just say no. And I don't understand why I feel the need to do it so aggressively, like say no like this. But I can help it. That's just how I speak. These are my mannerisms, and I don't think mannerisms can hurt people, so I don't understand why we need to police them. Like, I'm not hurting anyone by talking the way that I talk. Same thing with my stimming habit. If I'm doing this, I'm doing this for myself. Like, I think neurotypical people don't understand how important it is for me to stim. Like, it is one of the only coping mechanisms or ways I have to regulate my central nervous system, because I am very prone to having anxiety and feeling anxious and being overwhelmed. And I have figured out different ways to cope with it. Some hobbies, some habits, like going on a walk, fasting, listening to music, doing my art, things like that. But I don't always have those things on hand, like I can't always just turn on music, especially if I'm in the middle of a conversation, or if I'm in a situation where I really can't give myself a minute to breathe. In that moment, stimming is the only resource I have to regulate my emotions and regulate my central nervous system. So you can't take it away from me, because I don't have any other coping mechanism. Like, just because you don't need it as a neurotypical person, you don't need to stim like that so often, that doesn't mean that I won't need it. Same thing with pacing. I love pacing a lot. Just moving up and down. Like, I love to pace a lot. It helps me clear my head. It helps me be more focused and just think through, and also just help me to process my emotions, because I have a habit of not feeling my emotions and just thinking through them instead, and trying to figure out logically why I'm feeling a certain way and what could be causing that emotion, where the whole point of having emotions is that you're supposed to feel them. And that's one thing that I have never learned to do. And so I just suppress my emotions. And one thing that I've learned through walking and pacing, that it helps me just learn. It just helps me. I'm sorry, I just can't seem to remember the word for it. It lets my emotion just come up. Yeah, they just over time, I just let my brain, let my mind wander into whatever territory it wants to go in. I don't really, I think that's something that you do in meditation as well. You just let your mind wander. You don't force yourself to just not think about things. You just try to always come back to the present moment and just feel whatever it is that's coming up when you're just pacing or doing any like repetitive motion. So over time, like, it helps me feel those, I would say, dormant emotions. Same thing with, this is another reason why I love art, drawing, painting, things like that, because I can just use my brush or my marker or pen or whatever, and I can just do coloring, shading, which is my favorite part of art, is when I'm shading or coloring, because it's so repetitive. It's a repetitive motion. Sorry about that. It's a repetitive motion, so it helps me get into like a zone, like where I can just be an autopilot, where I don't have to think, and things just happen naturally. Like I'm in flow state. Yeah, I think that's the word, flow state. And being in that flow state, it also very meditative and also helps me process those emotions that I have been feeling for weeks, even months, even days, and I just never give myself time to just feel them and just walk through them. And I may not even know, like they could just be in my subconscious brain, and I may not even be aware that those emotions are there, and they're subconsciously controlling my thoughts and my actions. By doing stuff like that, art and stimming and things like that, it helps me understand my own subconscious mind and what may be going on over there. So these are just my coping mechanisms, and I'm not gonna lie, in the past I have had very unhealthy coping mechanisms, like some really disturbing things, which is being autistic. It's statistically, it's very likely that you're engaging in any kind of very self-harming kind of behavior, which of course I understand, but I also don't want to, like, I don't want people to, I would like people to over time do harm reduction and try to find some healthy ways to cope, not unhealthy ways to cope. But I've had really bad coping mechanism, but I don't think this is the video for that, to like talk about those, but I will share them when I feel ready. And I think that those are very important to discuss because they're extremely common, and there are ways that you can find healthy ways to cope with your autistic traits. You don't always have to go down a dark path, but that is something that is also that can happen. Like right now I'm on my unmasking journey and this YouTube channel and making these videos. It's a part of just unmasking and trying to understand myself more in real time and have feedback too, which is what I want the viewers to do. I want you to share your own stories and give me feedback as well. If you have any good advice, I'm all ears. Unfortunately, I don't know any real life autistic people. Like all of my friends, family, things like that, they're all neurotypical. The only source of information I have regarding autism, it's online. It's on YouTube, it's on TikTok, whatever. So those are the only places where I can get information and resources. So I would really appreciate it if you have any advice for me and things like that. I think I'm gonna stop rambling now, but I will continue to make videos like these, whether I post them or not. This is a project that I'm doing for myself, and I just want to document it online and get feedback. And I think that if you're going through a similar journey, then you should do the same. Make sure to document it, because if you don't document it, especially if you're going through something traumatic, what trauma does to your mind is that over time, in order to protect you, it will wipe out your memories. I don't know if wipe out is the correct word, but your memories of trauma will become dormant, and you won't remember key details. Like when I think about my trauma from like my past, there are a lot of things that I can't remember accurately, and sometimes I even doubt my own memories if they're 100% accurate, or maybe there are some things that I'm remembering incorrectly, because that can happen. So documenting helps you just to make sure that you have like your experience on camera, so you can come back to it and watch it later, and it will also help you just figure out what changes you want to do, and also to motivate you to see how far you have come. So I encourage you to do the same, document whatever it is that you're going through, and if you want to post it, that's great, but even if you don't, just keep those videos to yourself and just come back to them. And I'm gonna shut up now. I hope you really liked watching this video. I will link my TikTok and my Instagram in the comments. in my description, and I really hope that you check those videos out as well. And make sure to watch the video all the way through. Even if you're not watching it actively, just play it in the background while you're doing something, because I really need that watch time. The watch time is important for me to get monetized, and I'm not asking for any financial help. I'm just asking for watching the video all the way through, because that would really help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate if you did. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Also, just another thing, if I stumble upon my words, or if I'm taking a little bit of time to get to the point, I just hope that you are a little bit patient with me, because English is not my first language, and so I really hope that you can give me some grace and just be a little patient. I am trying to improve my speaking skills, so I promise you I will get better, but I just hope that you give me some grace, because English is not my first language, so sorry about that. Also, would you like me to make talking head videos, or would you be more open to just hearing my voiceover, or me coloring or drawing or doing some art? Because I also want to promote my art a little bit over here, so let me know which format are you more willing to watch.